There, it's Tuesday, January 20th already. A lot of talk about the Aurora last night. Maybe you saw it, probably you didn't. Cloud cover did not help that out. We've got rain way out there, so we're going to talk about when that's coming, hopefully sooner than later. Dangerous air quality, it's been showing up in the Central Valley and in the foothills. A lot to do with wood smoke. We'll look into that. Dense fog advisories. There's some hazardous travel, especially from Modesto to Bakersfield. And then we'll look at a couple of new live cameras, new web cameras that we've never used before, Nature Snacks and North to South. So welcome. I'm meteorologist Bill Martin. Do these every morning, or I try to. And we do local West Coast weather stuff. And we get into the models. We'll talk about some topical stuff off the top. And then we go right to the models, forecast stuff. And then we kind of go and look at what the models are, what the weather looks like now, north to south. That's California. And we look at, oh, the clouds are coming in. That's from that system we saw, remember? And then we end up with Nature Snacks, which is just good times. It's just good times. It is. And I find myself in the mornings, one of my favorite things to do is, I guess, it's just curating the pictures, the live camera stuff. That's the beauty of the internet, right? There's just a lot of really cool things that you can access. Boom, right here. It's foggy at my house today, so the sunshine was good to see. This is the Aurora forecast for tonight, tomorrow. And how's that work out for you? There's going to be more clouds. This is about as far south, so maybe Seattle. This is tonight, and then this is tomorrow. It starts to recede. But those are pretty significant solar storms that are occurring that are producing these solar flares. And truthfully, I don't remember a time in my tenure especially when I was a kid, when there were this many potential aurora sightings this far south. Now, maybe there's some of you who are actually older than me. Amazing. But I'd be interested in what you say, because solar flares are not to be trifled with. Solar eruptions, they're not, it's electromagnetic energy, man. It's the real deal. And it puts out, it can shut down power grids. And it has in the past, back in the 70s, specifically in the East Coast. This is the satellite image right now. So first of all, look at all the fog up in the north here, up towards, right? Look at all that fog. That's valley fog and bad air quality. That's valley fog in the Central Valley. And these clouds all over the next, couple of days will be filtering into the area, but nothing really in terms of rainfall for us, unfortunately. But we got cool things to look at. This is that dense fog advisory. And with that fog, that comes that shallow inversion, and that's where you get the bad air quality. And so in this zone, from Modesto down to Visalia, yes, the air quality is not good because it's cold. People are burning firewood. That's what, a lot of people don't burn firewood. A lot of areas restrict it now. But a lot of places still do, especially in the foothills of the Sierra Nevada. So what did I get out of this page? This was out of Hanford. It's a high-risk trail. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I get it, fog. But it's like, I kind of forgot, if you can't see, you want to pull off the road, but you don't want to leave your lights on when you pull off the road, because people who can't see in front of you. So you kind of have to get way off, click the lights off, and then remember the low beams, which makes it easier to see through. This is Truckee, California this morning, 12 degrees. New live camera out of Truckee, yeah? Awesome. Truckee. I remember, and you might too, I remember when Truckee, get into the models right after this. I remember when Truckee was kind of a pit. There I said it. It was. It just was. Nobody wanted to be there. This is like in the 60s and 70s. And now it's so damn shishi. It's awesome. And I have a lot of my friends are locals up there. They grew up there, were born up there. And they all say the same thing, so I feel okay saying it. And Truckee's done a big turn. It used to be just a train station, right? Or not a train, but it was on the tracks, and it was really cold, and it just didn't have it going on. But Truckee's pretty nice now. This is air quality. This is PurpleAir. PurpleAir really doesn't, they don't measure ozone, and they measure just particulate matter, PM 2.5, which is 2.5 microns. And the reason they measure it, and these are unhealthy levels, the reds and the oranges, and even the yellows. This is the Bay Area in particular. They measure it because like ozone is a chemical. It's not good to breathe, and it's hard on your lungs. Particulate matter, PM 2.5, is it 2.5? Yeah. Gets into your lungs and can cause infections and cause pneumonia easily. And so areas that are experiencing these reds, yellows, and oranges for a prolonged period, you're breathing some bad air quality. And I've been getting reports. It was worse a couple of days ago. I was kind of not paying attention to it because people where I live don't really burn wood smoke. But wherever you have that shallow inversion, it's kind of loading up real slow. Wherever you have that shallow inversion, like say Bakersfield right here. See if I can get it to load. It's got a lot of data points on this. But these are big numbers in and around Bakersfield, and those are urban areas, and folks are burning wood. I don't know what all the burn requirements and restrictions are and through every city in California or every county, but people still burn wood, and especially in the foothills, it can get really bad. So air quality not been great. This is an example of air quality. This is out towards Modesto, Merced, and this just shows the fog, but see how misty and kind of lucky it is? That's stuff. That's smoke in the fog. And so the fog really just enhances the smoke and lets you know that, yeah, the air quality is not good because it's not mixing, right? The inversion is, again, one more example of inversion because whenever somebody wants to screw somebody up, they talk about inversion. It's like, oh, and if you don't know what an inversion is, it's like, oh, because you can't really visualize it. All the inversion is warm air above, right? And it can't, it's pressing, it's kind of pressing down on this area here. And the air underneath here is so cold, it can't rise. It just keeps falling down. And so in this layer, you get zero mixing in this is right now, like for instance, this is 1,000-foot elevation. That inversion's just at 1,000 feet. So from 0 to 1,000 feet, junk is just circulating, PM 2.5. Simple, and that's all an inversion is. It's an area that has complete and absolute stability underneath it, which is cold air under warm air. Cold air under warm air, that's a very stable pattern, absolutely stable. So that's where we are, and this is where we're going with the models, forecast models. This is GFS, and it looks a little more juicy. All we're looking for now is something to break the deadlock, because the deadlock is this ridge of high pressure, which, as you can see here, it's not very well lined up, but you can see a negative tilt. See the ridge axis tilting back. And typically it's tilting this way or more up and down. Now it's leaning towards the back, which in my world goes, ooh, something's cutting underneath it, and something is cutting underneath it. So if I were to draw out the ridge here, I'd go right there and like there. Okay, so in the model run, this is this morning's. This is 12Z. You can 4 a.m. Okay, remember I talked about weather balloons yesterday. That's when the last weather balloon went up at 4 a.m. and that's the one we're using. So you can see this is the motor. This is the energy, the vorticity, and that looks pretty like, oh, something cool is going to happen. All I see there may be a little something for Southern California, maybe. But more likely, it's just enough to break up the inversion, kind of get an onshore flow. We have fog today in Crescent City. That could be it. It's not really, it looks pretty dry, and you'll see that coming up. So, yeah, normally you'd go, yeah, maybe, and maybe. But that's on Thursday morning. Maybe the coastal sections get some drizzle. But nothing you'll see in the surface models. It's not show much. And then the ridge pops back in, and then you get a reload here around the 26th, which we've talked about. And that'll be a little bit of something, maybe a snow flurry. And then that looks more favorable here. But it's not awesome. But what is awesome is the jet stream's starting to level out. It's starting to come down. Like, see what's awesome here. And you've been doing this with me for a long time. Most of you have, which is sick. You will notice that the jet stream is not doing this, right? And anytime it's not doing that, anytime it's doing this in our direction, that's good. Simple, but I mean, I don't mean to oversimplify it too much, but it's when you're into this pattern, the big ridge right there, that's no good. But when it starts to flatten out, like right there, that's the beginning of the flatten out on the 28th. And we've been talking about the 28th for a while. A little ridge pops up, but that's a shortwave ridge, which means it doesn't last long and then pops in. It's going to change. Something around the end of the month, early next month is what it looks like. Fuel. This is the fuel. Precipitable water. I just think about sitting up straight because my wife has great posture, and I'm like this guy. I don't feel like I am, but oh, good morning, by the way. God, I just get grinded on this stuff. I got notes today. Hope you're doing well. What can I tell you about? We're just gonna keep talking weather here. Right now, I'll meander at some point about what am I gonna meander about? I was gonna meander. I'll give you oh, I learned something cool. I learned where the Harkoover Mountains are, and I learned about Long Path Desert Haze. Ha! Now you got to hang in like 20 minutes for that, but it's gonna be awesome. Okay, so one sec. This is the fuel. So we looked at the motor. That the vorticity is kind of like the energy that you get the lift with, and this is what you need inside that lift to create precip. And you see, there's that. See that little Southern California thing? You see that little, the little, kind of just rotation. You see it? You kind of going like this. That's tomorrow morning, or is that Thursday morning? And then you know what I got to do real quick? I just realized I got to plug in my laptop. This before it runs out of batteries. There we go. Now we're cooking. So that looks like it's trying to do something, but there's not a lot of fuel. And then look, all the dry air advect back in from the east. And then here comes that 28th, right? And a little AR out. See, it's trying, man. It's trying. January 30th. It's trying. This just means fuel's available, moisture's available. That looks, see, that's in the region. That's encouraging. That's the first week of February. Something's going to happen. I think it's going to happen a little sooner than that. Based on how the models have been doing, they've been a little late, a little slow on the pattern shifts this all year. It was just like a day late, 2 days late. And then this is surface. This is that Southern California event, right? You know, like, yeah, it's maybe some drizzle. See the blues? And then, so if you're doing construction, like I am, God, I'm telling you, I'm bleeding money over here. I did a thing. Okay, I gotta keep going. So there's something there. That's maybe some snow in the mountains. That's January 27th. And then that's extra. That's a weather system, a front. That's Wednesday morning on the 28th. And then another click. So you can kind of see the door has been cracked open a bit. And then this one's a depressing one. This is rainfall accumulation. Look at the west. Look at Washington and even Oregon. And then they get on it. And this is all the way out to the February 5th. I get really interesting emails from you guys regarding water, and I love it. Especially I had a couple of farmers chiming in, or ranchers talking about the concern for, you know, like I worry about, like you do, we worry about water for California because we worry about, well, they're going to cost more, my vegetables are going to cost more, so on and so forth. And these guys are like, no, you don't get it, dude. We're going to have trouble making rent if we can't get the amount of water we need at the price. I mean, some of the percents, one guy, I should have read the note to you. That's Mount Shasta this morning, 50 degrees in Weed this morning, Mount Shasta City, 45 degrees. And he was saying, you know, and he gave me a year, I can't remember it, but it was like, you know, this X year we were getting water for $10 a square foot or what, I'm just making that up. And then literally like 3 years later, we get this kind of mini drought going on, and it's $250 per, you know, in other words, that kind of a 80, 90, huge leaps in cost. And if you're trying to raise a family or trying to pay rent on that, it's funny, I'm in a Bay Area, right? So I'm in a city where I go to work at Taco Bell, make my money. You guys are like, that ain't how it works here, man. We're agrarian. This is how this country was founded, and this is how the valley was settled, and that's why it's one of the most, you know, it's top 4 in the world, I think. Top 4, top 2 or top 4th economy in the world, California, agricultural. Something like that, but it's big. But anyway, you forget when you live in a city, and I do. I grew up in the rural areas, grew up with my grandparents who were farmers and whatever, but I forget because I'm just making money and it comes in, or I'm on freaking, you know, Social Security or some shit, like, or some stuff like that, pardon me. Okay, so here is Mount Shasta. I like this shot. This is looking out towards Goose Lake. Mount Shasta today. Goose Lake's going to go about 48 degrees. Mount Shasta, beautiful shot. Look at that beautiful area. I love that Eastern California. Let me come on. So anyway, yeah, enough about me. Let's get on with the California north to south. This is Crescent City. The fog came back in. That's an indication that that high pressure is weakening a little bit because you're not seeing that big, strong offshore flow that's minimizing the fog. The fog is able to get a little bit of a play against the coast because it's not being blown away, supposedly or probably by that high pressure zone. Crescent City today, 53 degrees. Eureka, 53. Fort Bragg, 53 degrees. Fort Jones, love this shot. Valley fog. And if you're burning wood down in there, hey, if you live at Fort Jones, will you let me know? I'd love to. I don't know why it's not doing its thing. I would love to hear what it's like to live in Fort Jones this morning. Isn't that beautiful? You're looking towards the north. And somebody with a free hand, tell me what that peak is up there. Is that... I'm not sure what that peak is. You can help me out there. And then this is Sutter Buttes from Paradise. Magalia. Paradise is going to go 60. Chico's going to go 64. Magalia is going to go 58. And that is beautiful shot. And that just shows the fog. Also shows it's a little deeper than normal because you're coming up, you're getting, and again, that depth is an indication of maybe some changes coming. It's really shallow when you get big, strong, high pressure. But you see the hills, it's encroaching up around Lake Oroville over here. This is the Feather River, and it bleeds right into Lake Oroville, which is right, I think Oroville, maybe that is Oroville proper. Yeah, that might be right at the opening of the lake. But anyway, what I see is at about 1,000 feet, this camera is at about 3,000 feet, but at about 1,000 feet, I see the inversion up, which is higher than it has been. So it's in the foothills, up around up on Neal Road in Paradise. Sutter Buttes out there, just awesome visuals today, this morning on California. And tomorrow morning is going to look very similar as well. This is Walnut Grove. Walnut Grove. Delta. Oh, 57 in Sacramento, 57 Walnut Grove, 57 Modesto on a good day. San Francisco today goes 60 degrees. This is Mill Valley, Mount Tam, San Francisco. Tried to write them all down. 63 in San Jose, 59 in Livermore. We go up towards Sierraville, Susanville today. Isn't that pretty shot? That's Sierraville. You're looking towards kind of the west-southwest from, well, how high up are we? There's no elevation on that. 5,600 feet. Wow. So anyway, they're going to go, Sierraville's going to go 46 degrees today. Susanville's going to go 48. And then this is stunning. This is Mono Lake. You're looking towards the south. Let's see if am I doing it? Yeah. Yeah, Mono Lake, looking towards the south. Isn't that just an awesome landscape? And that's part of the reason you didn't see the Aurora last night. The reason I didn't come clean with that, but there was a lot of cloud cover last night. So there's a lot of buzz about, the Aurora, but it's like if there's clouds, you can't see it. I didn't see it. If you saw it, let me know. But that's Mono Lake. Salinas, which should be coming up next. Salinas Valley. King City is going to go 66 degrees today. Cambria, beautiful shot, is going to go 65. Santa Maria, 66. Beautiful. That area is stunning. And then this is Bakersfield. Grapevine, 59 in Bakersfield, 54 in Fresno. I'm going to do this. Thanks for hanging in. I'm interested. Am I doing, I know, I always ask you guys, but truthfully, that's an awesome shot. Those are clouds or jet trails. Yeah. See the shadows going across. One of you guys pointed that out to me. I was like, yeah. That's stunning. Look how the fog plays. Wow. I was going to say something else. I forgot what I was going to say. It was interesting, I'm sure. The fog. And then this is Los Angeles. Los Angeles today is going to go 69, Burbank 71, Santa Monica 67, and then, I know what I was going to ask you. Here, that's LA. I was going to ask you, like, because I like what I do. It's fun for me. But I also wonder, is this too many live pictures? Oh yeah, because it's literally because when we did I'm trying to do the weather up front. I'm trying to do this in the back, and then get even lighter than this. This is sort of more like a perusal of the things we've talked about up front. Like the inversion, we couldn't see the aurora because of these clouds. That trying to connect all that, trying to connect the digital points or the semi-digital points to the live cameras. And then when I get to nature snacks, it's just who knows what the hell, right? But I'm curious, is this too many? Because there's a lot of live cameras, but I like it because it's California north to south, and it reminds us where you live. You pay a lot on your rent. You do. You pay a lot in rent, and this is why, because it's awesome. Awesome place. This is interesting. This is La Pasa. You're gonna have to correct me on this. La Posa Plain, Harcarver Mountains in the back. Harcarver. And something I didn't know, and I've noticed it since we've been doing these north to south, is there is that haze in the air. And I didn't realize it's something called Long Path Desert Haze. Never knew that. I guess I did know that, but I forgot it. But it's just aerosols. Fire, fine dust, and aerosols in the desert. The little wind kicks up and you got, what's this stuff? I can't think of the name of it. But you just get stuff in the air. It just does. And I've noticed that a lot out in Victorville as well, too. And I've noticed it driving through it, and I just thought, oh, yeah, But it's a thing, especially in the winter when the high pressure is in strong. This is San Diego up at the hill, San Diego, University of California, San Diego. Beautiful day. And I would pit the weather in Southern California this season has been stunning, except for that major rain event. And again, this is a great time to remind, as you look at the forecast for today, remind ourselves, if it hadn't rained, that flooding rain in Los Angeles, this would be fire danger, right? This would be, right? And so it's weird how, again, the weather's not attacking us. We just have to learn to live with it. But, you watch media, it's gotten worse. Well, no, it's gotten worse over the last 20 years, but it's like we're being attacked. And in California, you're not being attacked. Even hurricanes are there for a reason. They're moving heat from the equator towards the poles to dissipate the temperature differential. It's it's part of the cycles. It has to happen. So it's weird when we go, oh, God, it's shit. It just has to happen. You live in a place where there's tornadoes. That's kind of scary. But you know what you do? You have a storm cellar, or you build your house right, or you whatever. But you don't just get caught by surprise, especially since Tornado Alley is Tornado Alley. Well, same with California. We have fires, earthquakes, droughts. These are the forecast highs for tomorrow. Okay. And again, I ask you guys questions because I think the cast is getting better. I kind of I always, because I was in TV for 1,000 years. I was like the longest lived chief meteorologist in the history of the Bay Area, even longer than Pete Giddings. I was here a long time. And we won. We were a big superstation, basically. I don't think we ever lost a book. Not because of me, because of Dennis, probably. But I'm doing if I could have done this on TV, they would never, like I said, TV was like a race. We'd get down on the starting line, and I remember NBC, CBS, ABC were my competitors. And I would, we were KTVU, we were independent, or at one point we were Cox and then Fox. And I would just go, we'd all try to start at the same time because weather was a big, in television, weather's a driver, they call that. And that's why you see it so much, especially when there's no news, right? So you hype it up a little bit. But I remember just, go, you got 2.5 minutes, Bill, go. Can you imagine? Like I was watching the weather guys the other night and I was just like, yeah, just, you don't even need a meteorologist on TV. Because just somebody who can talk fast, and be confident that they're, be confident. Just like being alert, just be confident. This is the fog footprint right here. Okay, I better get going. I'm kind of dragging. And then the national map. There's some that cold in the east. You can see some of that another day or so. And then out west, you see the browns. That's air quality in Seattle. Not Seattle, well, parts of Oregon. That's all air quality stuff, man. People are burning wood. And then the Central Valley of California. Earthquakes, couple. Let's see, a little something at the triple point just in the last hour. 3.2 just off of Crescent City, 82 miles west. but still relatively quiet. A couple 4.5s on the eastern edge of or the western edge of the plate. And then surf. It's kind of up and down. My son went out yesterday. Said it's okay. I still stand by the sandbars. I talked to Pee Wee, and he's like, who's a local Ocean Beach legend. If you read Barbarian Dreams, he's the guy. And for my money, he is. There's a lot of names that get thrown around in the Bay Area in terms of who's who. He's the guy. He's the guy. This is. But he was telling me. He goes, it was hilarious. I go, Pee Wee, I can't remember a worst sandbar setup ever in all my years, which is 45, 50 years, long time for me. But I can't remember it. And he's like, "Oh no, you're just missing it, dude." He goes, because he lives down at the beach. He goes, "No, there were some days, man." He goes, "Last week, are you kidding?" I'm like, because I needed the Oracle to go. Yeah, it sucked, and you could feel okay that you missed everything, but apparently I just missed the whole run of the whole week. Yes, well, right. I'm not feeling it. I'm not going out today. Plus, there's that cloud cover. And then this is Point Conception. This is... I was going to bust. There was a guy on an electric foil out there. I was going to bust on him again. Thanks for all the inputs on the electric bikes. I thought I'd get more heat for that. Electric bike talk. Anything electric. I think it's great for people who need it. But I think if you're just using it as a way to catch waves and you're a young, healthy, strong person, or you're just using it as a way to get up a hill and you're a young, strong, healthy person, oh, there he is right there. Doggone it. He must have went back and recharged his batteries. I mean, it's just not cool. I know. You know what's cool is if you could wander off by yourself and do it. But he's on a main break. He's at San Onofre. And he's just buzzing everybody. It's a little bit annoying when you're this guy because you have to wait. You can't. This guy's going 20 miles an hour, out, in, out, in. This guy's going to wait 15 minutes for a set wave, and he better be in the right spot. But I thought you guys would hammer me yesterday on that. And my wife, everybody hammers me on it, but I'm not buying it. I'm not buying the whole we need help pedaling bicycles unless you have some kind of a dysfunction. There's Mount Shasta. There is Owens Lake. Nature snacking hard. Here is Mammoth Mountain. They're skiing today, but 42 degrees. That is pretty warm at Mammoth. That's the Big Bear. I got more Mammoth. I thought this shot's been driving me nuts because it's Mammoth, but there's nobody there. I'm wondering if they didn't just shut the runs down because Mammoth's got people here, right? You can see people wandering around. But here, you're like, I haven't seen anybody ski by or anything. And then Palisades. And you see the Lake Tahoe off in the distance. And Palisades I talked to Billy yesterday. If you go to Palisades, go find Billy Hudson up in the corporate offices and tell him Bill Martin sent you. Bill's one of the awesomest guys you'll ever meet. He's so awesome. He used to be in a lot of Warren Miller ski films. Warren loved him because he was a downhill Olympic guy. But just in terms of personality, the dude rocks. He's funny. Like you think I'm funny, which I'm not. He's funny. Like he's funny. Best public speaker I know too. 37 degrees at Heavenly. Isn't that beautiful? I'm running out of time, and we're going to go to Venice, where it's going to be 67 degrees today for daytime high. Did a whole bunch, a little bit of everything there. Thanks for all the comments. I love the comments. Chime in on style points because you see I'm doing more pictures up front, getting right to the models. I like hearing what you think. I don't always jump on it, but it's I'm doing this for me, but I'm also doing it for you. Yeah, I know. Look at me, so magnanimous. Have a good day.